What's up, fuckers?
Bang, we're back.
We are back. We are so goddamn.
Feels good.
Oh.
Feels good. Justin went and got married to him and Hannah. They are now one together. And I guess he's got some stuff to show off right now. Oh, he had to...
I had to take it off. We were shooting something earlier. I had to take it off, but I got the ring
Justin put the ring on. He's still not used to it right now. But we got Justin married. They did their honeymoon. And so they're fresh off the honeymoon, and we are back.
I'm so excited. I have missed it. I was telling him, I was like, I miss it. Even like before, right before the wedding, right after the wedding, during the honeymoon, I was like, gotta shoot. Mm-hmm. Obviously, this is still orange.
Yep.
We haven't done the makeover yet. That's coming soon. But tonight,
we're talking about Host.
yes.
We've been wanting to cover this movie. It's on Shudder. I believe it's on Amazon also, but I believe you have to have a Shudder subscription to be able to watch it. They may have changed that recently since we've watched, but Host was a movie that was made in quarantine entirely through Zoom. So we've been wanting to cover this one just because I think it covers exactly how everybody's feeling in this quarantine. A lot of people can relate to some of the stuff we're going to talk about tonight.
Yeah, man. Because we use Zoom. We actually, matter of fact, we just use Zoom for the draft.
Yep, the NFL draft.
Yeah, the NFL. Yeah, man. So, like, our structure from this point forward is going to be a little different. Mm-hmm. So, we're going to be doing Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And,
shorter videos. They'll be in parts. We're going to cover one movie for the week.
Yeah.
But we'll have 3 parts to that.
Yeah.
And then we'll thank our sponsors individually at each end of each one of them. So, make sure you watch the video through to just support us, one, but also see who our sponsors have been along the way and who are helping us be who the hell we are and who we want to be behind this damn camera.
I'm so excited. And this movie was great, especially during quarantine. As you can see, we do have our Dos Equis.
Yes. Show that off.
We're not going to be chugging it tonight because I forgot to buy the beer. This is the only one I had left. So...
So we're going to be sipping on these through the 3 episodes, which is unlike us.
Yeah,
it's unlike us.
But next week...
Going to have to control myself.
Don't worry. We'll have Dos Equis ready to go.
Oh, yeah.
So...
may as well pop these, too.
Yeah, let's
pop these open. I guess we hadn't popped them yet. And then we'll cheers to a good episode and a good few episodes for the movie.
Yes, sir.
So Dos Equis.
Cheers,
you
bro.
want to sponsor us? Cheers. Thank you. Oh, man. Justin, as you were saying, it's good to frickin' be back. I've been dying to cover some horror. I've been having horror withdrawals, where like the other night, Madison and I were at a wedding, and we were like trying to get ready to sleep. I like having stuff to go to bed to, just like watch a movie or something like that, or put something on the hotel TV. She actually made a comment because I was just like trying to figure something to watch while we were falling asleep. And saw the final chapter was on. I don't like that movie, but I was like, oh, this is good to fall asleep to. And after like 10 minutes, she was like, you're going to have to change that. I was like, I don't see what's wrong with this.
Yeah.
She's like, I literally hear people screaming and getting cut up while I'm trying to sleep. I was like, not soothing?
Yeah.
Not soothing to you?
I guess not. I mean, Hannah had to she had to close her eyes watching Host. I don't know why she thought it was back.
It's a scary movie in my opinion.
Yeah. What'd you think about it? Well, let's talk about the story real quick. So the story follows. It's about six
friends.
6 friends. Technically 7, right? Including the guy, but he didn't.
He's in it back and forth, and he starts out in there pretty strong when they're starting up the Zoom call, and then he goes away for a little bit because his girlfriend.
His wife's a bitch.
Yeah. Essentially.
Yeah. So but they're on this Zoom call and they're trying to do a seance together, of just through the internet, and they had this one lady. What's her name? Not Gemma.
That was doing the seance?
Yeah,
Salem.
Salem
was who they had brought on to do the seance. It's like, people have heard of Jackbox and playing Jackbox over the TV, like during quarantine, because you can connect to that through your phone and everything. And it's like, this is not out of the realm that friends would get together and want to play a game online during quarantine when that's all you can really do. And it's a British film also. And so, like, they've been on lockdown, right? So all of this film was completely filmed through Zoom interactions. And so it's just crazy that the story comes out and someone wanting to do a seance. It's just like your normal horror movie setup. Like there's going to be a seance to get shit started up. But to do it through Zoom really gave it an interesting element because, I don't know, you could always be on a late night Zoom call or something with friends and someone hears some shit. Like in Justin's house when you hear the ghost that lives upstairs.
Oh, yeah. Oh, by the way, that's going to be a new segment. I don't know what I'm going to call it yet. Something ghostly something. We'll do like a 1 minute segment of like what's new with our ghost.
Yeah. Justin always has weird shit going on in his house.
No, I'm pretty sure
it's a ghost.
Yeah, like a couple days ago, my earrings just were out. I woke up, my earrings were on my dresser.
It's crazy.
No, seriously, I woke up and they were on my dresser.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So, I'm
just one.
See, that would be
one
enough
was
for me. That would be enough for me to leave.
What?
Babe,
Yeah.
I've lost 2 in bed since you started losing yours.
Y'all have a crazy ghost.
I'm not my second one.
Yeah.
They're like little moons.
Yeah.
I've lost them both since
Yeah.
you lost
You
yours.
see what I'm saying? Just
Wow.
Holy shit.
that's
That's scary. So ghostly shit be going on in people's houses.
Yeah.
And there's a seance through this movie that kind of kicks some stuff off. And like, there's a Gemma, Gemma fakes it, makes up this person she knew from school named Jack. That was the origin story of that person that
hanged himself.
Yeah, and that person in the film was completely made up by Gemma just because it was getting boring and nothing was happening, and then all of them are like just kind of cutting up, like, oh, this is so stupid that you were joking around, and like they lose connection to Salem for a little bit, and then Haley, the main girl, is just sitting in a chair up to the computer and gets pulled like on some Paranormal Activity type shit where you just get pulled across the kitchen and slammed up against a wall, like in her chair. So that's when shit got kicked off.
Yeah, well, so what happened was they called Salem again, and she was like, I fucking told you not to disrespect the spirits. Because now you made up this fucking person.
Yep.
And now you made a fake spirit.
Opened up the doorway, right?
Yeah, opened up the doorway to these spirits. And now you got this spirit who is now trying to fucking kill you at this point. All because of Gemma's fault. Yep. So, and even the main girl, Haley, was like, please take this serious. Remember at the beginning of the movie, she was like, she got everybody on Zoom. She was like, please, everybody take this seriously. Let's do this. They were all drinking too, just having fun. And Gemma's one of the characters who was half Chinese, half white. She made up a story about the guy who actually didn't exist.
Just made him up completely, and it was a mask for the spirit to wear to come in, and it, like I said, it opened the doorway for the spirit to come in and start just fucking with all of them. Yeah. There are a lot of good jump scares throughout this movie, in my opinion. Yeah. I think there's a lot of good jump scares and not cheap ones either. Like you have the one cheap one that's like someone's, I think it's Radina's boyfriend yells out, and that's the only cheap jump scare I felt, but everything else is earned, which that's what I appreciate.
Oh, from the roof?
No, I'm talking about like a cheap jump scare being like it wasn't actually anything scary.
Yeah,
it was just a noise. The one when he fell from the roof, and that's how he dies, like just falls from the ceiling when she's looking for him. That shit was freaky.
Was he stuck there?
Oh yeah, he was just being held up there.
Was that what the red spot was? Was that blood?
There was a red stain on the camera, like on the camera that she was calling in on the Zoom call.
No, on the roof, I mean.
It's on the camera. It's on the lens.
Oh, so that's what
it looks like that, but I know what you're talking about. That stays on that shot for a while when she dies. There's a lot of good like killing scenes too.
Yeah. Question.
Yes.
You said that this was done in Zoom. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I just watched it. Like I don't. I didn't do much research on this. Mm-hmm. So like, you said it was done through Zoom. Yep. So was it recorded? You know how we record our. You know how we record our interviews? Yeah. And it's like just downloaded? Yep. Is that essentially how that was? Or did they make it look like, was it recorded, but they made it look like it was?
I believe it was a little bit of both from what I've heard the writer and director talk about, and all the technicians that worked on it had mentioned, and reviews I've just seen on YouTube talking about it just from the inside perspective and interviews with the director and writer. was that they, like, in some scenes, like some death scenes, some like the person falling from the ceiling, Regina's boyfriend falling from the ceiling, that had to be choreographed, had to have stuntmen in there, all that stuff. Some people had to do their own makeup and like film their stuff over. It was all called in on Zoom, and it's all being recorded, like just through the interface of the computer, if that's what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's all being recorded. They have tons of footage from this that they filmed, and then I would need to look up her name, but there was one woman particularly set up to go through all that stuff, and the actors were supposed to have more just to have natural interactions, and didn't have like a complete script. And we'll talk about this more in the next part when we talk about acting and the directorial touch.
Yeah.
But a lot of these are genuine. Like that's why I feel like it flowed so well. Is you have genuine interactions
And react. Hey, you're talking to somebody.
Yeah.
It's genuine. Okay.
And then it gets to the points of the scares and when someone dies off, you're getting to that point, but you're actually doing it through genuine interactions.
Mm-hmm. I did. So what I loved about it, as far as like the story goes, is we live in a weird time right now, right? So we're in this pandemic. You gotta go and wear these masks. We have vaccines now. You're in quarantine, can't really like talk to people. So
too
obviously,
close to 'em.
yeah. So right now, like it's very, very relatable.
Mm-hmm.
How did you feel about that? Like, how did you feel about like it being, they try to make it so that they can connect with people.
I think that's a key part of the story is because Gemma and Haley interact towards the beginning of the movie, and Gemma's outside her window, like just with her phone up, but she's wearing a mask outside her window. This is the beginning of quarantine, and then like even to the end when Gemma's one of the last girls standing. And there's a lot of stuff in between, but she puts on her mask before she goes and checks out Gemma. So it's just funny in that regard that like that's now just what we do. The Zoom stuff was really relatable. Having like the interface and I think her name was Caroline, the blonde. I think Caroline was playing with the filters.
With the masks.
Yeah, so that was funny when she was doing that first, and then it was like kind of tongue in cheek that the filter was still working because like she's obviously not thinking to take the filters off when she's running around. And also that's probably my favorite scare in the movie is when there's the filter of the mask in like the corner, and Caroline sees it and she doesn't know like why the hell that's floating in the middle of the air, and it turns towards her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then she freaks out and then puts the flour all over the ground and it walks towards her. And
that's I agree. So a lot of these things in this is, it really fucked with your mind.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, for example, and this is a classic. You see this. You've probably seen this a lot in a lot of movies. Is when she's like, "Oh, what the fuck is happening back there?"
Mm-hmm.
She takes her Polaroid.
Oh yeah.
And takes a picture of it, and that comes out. She sees Jack, like the made up.
We don't see a Polaroid, right?
Well,
it's just a flash that's lighting the room.
See the picture.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. In the room.
In the room.
Yes,
and
yes.
You could see the made up character Jack. He's being hanged from
spirit.
Yeah, he's being hanged from this from the ceiling.
Yeah.
And that's classic. You see that in a bunch of. I'm sure you've seen that plenty of times. Will always be one of my favorite types of scares.
Oh, yeah. Well, and it was like that was really creepy because to us as the audience, we don't see it when she's like pointing. She's pointing in the bedroom, like, do y'all see that?
Oh yeah. And I don't know what the fuck.
And we don't see anything until she takes the picture. Then you're like, oh shit. And there's a lot of small, subtle stuff this movie does incredibly well. Yeah. I'm going to talk about it more on the directorial touch. Mm-hmm. When I saw some reviews, there's some background stuff that's hidden away that you don't know. Yeah. So I'm going to talk about that more when we get to that, and I really want to talk about that. Also, the attic scene when a girl puts her phone on a selfie stick. Why do you ever do that in the attic?
Yeah, we were like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? Get out of there, bro. Don't stop. Just stop. Why are you trying to go into the attic? What are you trying to figure out? I don't know if they all live very close to each other, these characters or whatever, but because there was a point where Gemma went to Haley's house, right? Is it Haley or is that?
Yeah, Gemma seems like she lives next door to Haley. And on the IMDb, they have different hair colors. Caroline's the one who had the loop on her computer. Emma's the one that was playing with the filters, so I got them mixed up. But yeah, they live in close proximity to each other, and they're actual genuine friends. That I think this started as a short movie.
It's still pretty short.
No, I mean like a short. It was a short, and then they made it into a feature-length film, written by a woman, which was written by Gemma Hurley, and then Rob Savage, and also Jed Shepard helped write it. So man, I mean, like the writing is really well done. I think the story progresses well, and you go
to me it's natural.
Yeah.
Which is something I love in stories, right? It's when something's believable. For me at least, you know what I mean? Like that's what makes a really good story, because it helps keep me invested, right? When it's something that's very believable.
Yeah.
And that also goes with the acting, which we will talk about later. But that goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So what's your I want two things from you. What's your favorite moment of the story? Like what part of the story resonated well with you and you thought really was super effective in making it a quality story in this movie that we enjoyed? And then also, what was your favorite scare in the film?
Ooh, that's tough. I gotta think about that.
Okay,
So
I have my. While you think about that,
Yeah.
my favorite scare I just mentioned was the mask filter.
Okay.
That was my favorite. I'd probably say my favorite scene in the movie was actually when Teddy comes back in, and who is it? I literally just said her name. The blonde.
Caroline?
No, Emma's the blonde.
Okay.
Yeah, Emma is scared, and she's the only one really on the call right now. Because I think Gemma was on her way to see Haley, and then Teddy gets back on. He's screwing with the little puppet, and then he shit just gets set off in there, and he's running around, and then he sees the demon.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, oh, that really that was when I was like, oh shit, this stuff's there was already some stuff happening. But I was like, we're hitting the climax of the movie. So that felt like a pivotal point to me.
And was that also your favorite kill?
My favorite kill. I think so. I think that's my favorite kill because I found out that the guy that played Teddy has done fire stunts before. So he did the legitimate fire stunt.
He when I first saw him, he reminded me of this character. I don't know who it is, but I was like, I immediately was like, oh, I've seen this actor before, but it didn't end up being him.
Yeah. So what's yours?
So my favorite scene of the movie probably is the Polaroid scene of with Jack being hanged.
So eerie.
Yeah, and it's just like, okay, so he's there. You see it now. And then my favorite kill. I don't know if I can.
They're all good kills.
Yeah, there's not bad. I guess I can tell you what my least favorite kill was.
Hit me.
Gemma's at the end.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just because it just to me it just ended so abruptly.
With the spirit just jumping out to her.
Yeah.
Haley. Yeah.
And then that was it.
Yeah.
And then it's black, and then you see the
Zoom call.
Zoom ending. Yeah, and they did it with. So I learned this from him, but they purposefully did it in 40 minutes because the Zoom call is the limit is 40 minutes.
It's kind of tongue in cheek because how many times have we been on a Zoom call and it's either luckily gotten extended or it's been it just cut off abruptly.
Yeah.
So it's relatable.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of other Zoom shit that's relatable in there. Caroline uses the loop on her computer to make that as the background. So even after she has died, which is also a very surprising kill when she's getting banged against the camera and blood over her face.
So that okay, I changed my mind. That's probably my favorite scene because she's not actually dead at that point.
Yeah.
They were I think the spirit was faking it because she was walking around in the background.
That's a loop of a video.
Of her walking in the background?
Yeah, she made that as a loop. She's dead completely. That's what's so cool about that. And she did that as a joke. Like, hey guys, look, I have a twin, and it's just her looping. It's a video of her looping as the background of the Zoom call.
Yeah.
So that's just, and then that's what's so eerie about it. She dies, and so people, she's on the scene before her computer shuts off, and it's just a loop, and we know she's dead in the room laying there. So it's just crazy.
Bam.
Yeah, it's wild.
What? Yo.
Yeah. And her scene was filmed. There was a bunch of scenes like her jumping across the bed. Like, there's funny outtakes online where she's filming this all on her own, just doing takes, and she's like, they're British accents. They're like,
except
this
Haley,
is so
the main character, just had an American accent.
Yeah, she did. She did. She didn't have a strong accent. The other ones did.
For sure.
Yeah, but that's
mate.
Teddy had a good. Teddy's accent, pure as all get out. Like,
Well,
I'm gonna say biscuits or cookies. Salem?
Yeah, she sounded like she had an Irish accent.
Yeah, I was not picking up off the accents, but I knew it was. When I found out it was a British film, I was like, oh, this makes sense.
Yeah.
But the story, I think, is for what it was a 56-minute movie.
Yeah.
For being so confined to Zoom, it's a simple premise.
And
it's not super complicated. It's a simple premise.
And sometimes simple goes a very long way, and I think he did with this movie. Yep. Great story, in my opinion. Great story. Abrupt ending, which I didn't like. I mean, I told him I thought it was horrendous, but still a great story.
Yep, and we'll talk more about what we loved and what we didn't love in part 3 of this week's episodes. But that pretty much wraps up the covering of the story we got. So before we say goodbye to you all for part 1 of the host coverage this week, we want to thank one of our main sponsors, Hunt Junkies.
Yes, love them to death. As you guys know, I say that almost every single time.
He does love them.
Yeah, I do.
He does. All of his heart.
Yes, and so we'll be doing the makeover with them, and we will be announcing one of their Golden Ghost Awards.
Yep.
So
that'll be coming up in the summer. So
be on the lookout for that.
Yep. So thank you. Check out part 2.